you. It is 5:32 and it's time to open the Southwest Vermont Union Elementary School District Board of Directors meeting. And I would like to start by amending the agenda to two different pieces. The first is that we're going to remove the executive session at the end of our agenda. And the second is to reflect that Corinne Levin was here at the meeting last month and Sandy Foster was not. So those two pieces that would be in the consent agenda when we get to it. Yes, so let's stand now. Thank you, pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do we have any public, welcome for those that are here. Do we have any public comment this evening? Just Kathy Clark here as a union rep. Welcome. Yeah. So we are moving on to the, and we have no public comment, just hi. We'll move on to the consent agenda. A motion to accept the consent agenda with those two pieces that were.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. Second that. Cindy to make the motion, Stephanie second it. All those in favor?
I just want to bring up the consent agenda
I'm sorry. Thank you.
for the consent agenda. Sorry about that before we vote. I'm beginning to notice a big trend in us hiring people on pending licenses still. And I've known I've talked about it before in the past about, my concern about, what it's doing to the profession. I saw on there that we're hiring a assistant principal. There's 17 applications with 9 people interviewed. And that we can't find somebody with a licensure, that's concerning. Especially since we're prepping all of our teachers to go through this class to become administrators. So, that was pretty concerning to me. So I think, moving forward, I need to start making a bigger stink about this as I look through some schools and the number of traditional licenses are, quite high in our district. And I think it's, really doing damage to the teaching profession. And being a teacher is not just sitting up there giving information. It's classroom management. This is what teachers go to school to become trained at. And if we're hiring all these people with provisional licenses, it's just concerning to me what it's doing to the teachers who actually go to college for a degree.
I appreciate you saying that, and I couldn't agree more as a former teacher. The amount of prep that is necessary to be a teacher and then to stay a teacher continues. Your training continues. It doesn't end. And that is certainly something that we can add as something that we can add for our elementary certifications for our elementary teachers. And certainly we can reflect that in our needs to our new superintendent and perhaps even make it part of the goals that we need to create.
It's just like I said, when you see 17 people apply for a job, they interviewed 9 people and we pick someone with no experience or no licensure, that should be concerning.
That shouldn't happen, honestly.
Yeah.
So, I still think we should move this as one thing, but, I have a different response tonight.
Thank you. Other comments? So let's try that consent agenda again. That is to vote to approve the consent agenda with those people that are in it that are going to be resigning, as well as those that are going to be new employees. So all those in favor of the consent agenda signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? One opposed. Abstain. So the motion moves forward. Operations, we have a cleaning bid. So I'm guessing, Holly, that you're going to walk us through that.
Yeah, so that's, hey friends, good afternoon. I am bringing this to your attention because in our buildings, out of the 10 buildings in the district, we have different cleaning configurations for all of them. Some we have union first shift, second shift. And some we have, uh, first shift employees. And then we have second shift, which is a contracted service. And a lot of these arrangements have been in place for some time. So as we're moving through the school year, I wanted to look at what we're doing, why we're doing it, and make sure we're making the correct recommendations. We put out an RFP on the street, and we had 5 cleaning companies come and look at, the Bennington schools, Molly, Monument, Benno, to come and give us contracted, contracted costs, I'm sorry. And we ended up getting 2 proper bids, on bid day. One, after vetting out the amount of square footage and the labor to clean the square footage and to properly maintain indoor air quality cleaning standards. The staffing levels of this second one were not acceptable. And so that was, that bid was rejected and we're left with our current vendor. The amount of money we've paid over the years is less, which is another reason why I wanted to bid it out, because we're picking finishes now that require less time to clean. For example, we're installing this new floor and luxury vinyl tile in our classrooms, which doesn't need to be waxed. It doesn't need to be stripped every year, so we're bringing fewer chemicals in. We're spending less time and money and labor on doing that process, right? So, so I don't remember how much from last year we saved, but it was a significant amount just with the changes of materials. So we are staying with Janitronics and, yeah. What other questions do you have for me?
I have one. And Powell's not included?
No, Paola has, an arrangement of, union, non-union, and there's a first shift, second shift, and then there's kind of an intermediate shift that helps both the first and second shift person. So they're there, as a continuation of the school day, so they can communicate, you know, what happened during the day to the person after kids are gone, someone that still knows how to, you know, put the fire alarm panel in silence and those sorts of things. Shaftesbury is also not included. They have a very similar arrangement. Arlington is different, MAU is different, so it's all just a little.
Woodford is included in a different as well.
Yep,
Because
so
Woodford
you,
runs the school.
Woodford has a part-time cleaner who comes in, and then when that person is absent, actually the director and the facilities coordinator for the elementary district, they have the luxury of going up and doing cleaning themselves.
I was a little curious about the Woodford in the respect that it's so close to the monument for the cost of cleaning. So I was wondering if you just address that. I was surprised at how close they were for the bids.
Oh, I should say, Woodford being on the sheet was a mistake and is off there. Yeah. So sorry that, yeah, we're taking care of that house.
Okay.
So this is just for the Bennington schools.
Okay. Other questions then? And you're looking for a motion to accept the cleaning bid. So we'd like to ask for a motion to accept the cleaning bid.
Make a motion.
Thank you, Jeff.
Second.
Glenn, second. Any other discussion? All those in favor of moving forward with the cleaning bid, signify by saying aye.
I,
Opposed? Same. Okay, the motion moves forward.
Thank you, friends.
So we have a finance treasurer's report to accept. And Holly, I'm guessing that, are you walking us through this? No. So I guess we are looking to, I hope that you've all reviewed it then, that you have taken a look at it. The one thing that I would ask, and maybe Holly could take this back, is that they check the spelling, in particular electrical work.
Oh, okay.
Just those two words, when you see the spelling on the invoice, on the register. Just ask that they correct that, unless it's supposed to be as it's intended. Any other questions about this treasurer's report? Okay, I'd like to make a motion to have someone to accept it.
I'll make a motion to accept it.
Cindy to accept it, and second,
Sure.
Glenn second. Any other discussion? All those in favor of accepting the finance and treasurer's report, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion moves forward. Now we have, the SVUESD, Educational Use of Facilities. And Glenn, I think you're facilitating that.
I can actually handle that. We had a very well-rounded conversation about cause and effect regarding most of the options that were presented by the NASDAQ report. We made some recommendations for our next meeting that we'd like to have our new superintendent join us so that he has input and, you know, participation in that. We also talked quite a long time about the Woodford School and its best educational use, and we had everything from preserve the community, nostalgia and the longest operating school to this is a school that doesn't have facilities for a music room and art,
Oh, but it does.
a gymnasium. So,
Okay, maybe that's
Um,
easier.
yeah, I'm glad I left that one
Yeah,
for last.
thank you.
It's gonna bring about a lot of conversations going forward. We realize that we don't have to make these immediately, you know, there could be some phasings of what's coming in, what may go out. A lot of people brought up a real good, lot of points. And everybody's point pretty much, I would say, had a counterpoint as well. So it's gonna take a village and it's gonna take some real conversation to get where we are or where we'd like to be with it. One of the things we talked about was doing a little community engagement, not only through, you know, residents of, let's say, Woodford perhaps, but, you know, that conversation also ranged to talking to sixth and seventh graders about their feelings of whether or not they want to join the middle school immediately, or would they like to remain in Pownell or Shasberry respectively, as those two elementary schools continue to hold their sixth grade.
As well as Woodford.
Yeah, as well as Woodford. So, you know, the work is just beginning. It's not without a lot of consideration that needs to be put into it. And we plan to meet again in August.
Can I ask a question
Sure.
about the report itself that you may or may not be able to answer?
Sure.
Maybe Holly can? Did,
That's why I say it. I'm like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
did the people that actually did this facility use, this whole report, did they actually walk the buildings?
Yeah. We walked through the entire, so Superintendent Culkeen reached out to start this report, knowing the age of all the buildings, knowing the condition of all the buildings, to look at best use of what we have. And so this consultant came, he was here a number of times. We collected all the data about square footage, you know, when was the roof replaced, how much oil did they use, electric, all those metrics, and provided it to him so that when he was here, he could go through and really do a proper inventory. He did meet with all the principals, and I believe there were some committee meetings, but I wasn't involved with those with teachers and staff. What I will say is that this report is publicly posted on the website, so you can get it. It was generated during the time that we were also planning and getting ready all the HVAC projects with the Art Buster funds. So the lion's share of the concerns about, you know, roofs and HVAC and different finishes haven't totally been resolved, but the lion's share of them have been resolved. So the report is, in that regard, is not completely end.
Well, as well as they missed a classroom at Woodford, and that's a huge concern. If you have the smallest building that you missed a classroom, then it makes me wonder, did they miss other rooms in other schools and bigger schools?
Oh, I'm sure it's 100% not perfect. But what I would offer is we have existing conditions drawings of all the buildings and we have it in Revit so that he can pull up and look and so he had all that information. So I'm sorry. to
So
hear
did
that-
this committee know that there were rooms that could have been missed, is my question.
No.
No. Okay, so that's just something we want to add, Glenn, when in your discussions.
Excuse me, does that mean that somebody's trying to get through?
No, it means that they're there watching us.
Okay.
First time at front row.
So actually Woodford is considered the oldest school in the city.
In the country,
I made mention.
continuously operate a school in its same spot. Because Boston Public actually has been operating longer, but they moved their building. This building has remained in the same spot the longest, so it's historical.
Yeah.
So, Glenn, am I suggesting that you do not need action to be requested then
We do not need action to be actioned upon.
this evening?
Yes.
Perfect.
Good.
Okay, so we will move forward. Thank you very much for the committee, for the work that's being done for this, for our schools. We are going to move on to number 7, the SVSD report, which will be Jeff or Glenn.
You did a good job.
Well, I did. I'm done.
You should discontinue.
There was an update as to initially the first hiring committee for the assistant superintendent had pushed forward 3 candidates. It was found that one of them, when we reached out, or when Nick reached out to the 3 candidates, one of them had already accepted another position. So the 2 remainders go on to the second committee, hiring committee, which I believe is meeting this week. We can expect details, hopefully at the next SVSU meeting.
Fabulous. Great. Anything else to add?
No, I just remembered that wasn't there.
Yeah.
The awards night. Yeah, that's
Well, did you get an award?
my daughter.
Anything like.
So thank you very
Primarily,
much.
that's the bulk.
It's been a very difficult spring for the SU in the hiring process, so good for them to get as much done. Then moving on to the chair's report. It is June, so I certainly want to thank the entire staff for their dedication to our children, our families, and wish the best for those retiring and for those hired that are going to start to serve our community. We have a lovely staff in all of the buildings, and I hope that you embrace this new world of the SU. And if you are retiring or have retired, please consider the school board as a next place for you to contribute. Also like to entertain a motion to create an ad hoc committee to create goals for our new superintendent. This ad hoc committee would then roll those ideas to the SU board. So because of that, it has to happen this week because I think the SU board is meeting next week. So we'd have to get it to them this week or early next week probably before Monday, or at least by Monday afternoon, so that they would have them. It is not part of the policy that the new superintendent has his goals in place by July 1st. But our retiring superintendent suggested it would be kind of us to do so, to have them so that there is enough time to work on those goals and to be successful in them. And ultimately, that is what we're hoping for our new superintendent and his staff.
So what you're asking for is a motion to add ad hoc?
Create an ad hoc committee.
I'll make-
Yes, I'd like to entertain a motion to create an ad hoc committee to create goals for our new superintendent.
I will make that motion.
Second that.
Cindy to make it, Stephanie to second it. Any discussion?
Going to develop the committee, should we send, or I think the goal should be to Chris, or how should we do that?
That ad hoc committee,
Just form them together.
we'll form them together and then, we can empower that committee to forward them to Scott,
Okay.
the board chair, on behalf of our, on our SU, on our board. Do I have anyone, if you are interested, actually just email me and, we definitely will want to do that this week. So if you could also give me your availability, then we could somehow, get together and create those goals so that it is unified from our board. We know that, we have half of the students in the SU, so we want to make sure that the goals for our new superintendent reflect, what our elementary students need and what we want our new superintendent to work on for goals.
That makes sense.
Especially since the elementary is the building block for everything,
The foundation.
the foundation.
Yeah, you.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes. So that is wonderful. So I heard a first and a second. We have a motion. So all those in favor of creating the ad hoc committee to create goals for our new superintendent signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oh, Christelle, thank you. Any opposed? No. Okay, that motion will go forward. Again, if you would like to serve on it, please send me an email. And we will try to do that this.
So it seems like it's a one and done.
Yeah, it's a one and done, Stephanie.
No,
No,
I'm not available. That's why I was asking. I'm leaving in like 2 days for vacation for a while, so I just don't have the time this
We
week.
do remotely for you.
Yes,
What's that?
yeah.
I don't think you can.
That's what I'm saying. You're going.
I think we do remotely. for you.
Oh, no.
Be offshore.
A week ago to the.
The goals will go to the SU board. We can go to the SU board, but we physically do not need to be there. We just need to send our goals to the SU board.
Okay, so I'm just trying to figure out where. I don't mind being on it. I'm just not sure where I should be.
I'll let you know.
Yeah.
I'll pick you up, Cindy. The last part is the budget status. It's an FYI. We do not need an executive session. For those of you who are saddened that this meeting is coming to an end, I could go on and talk.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
I need to start.
Yeah, that's.
All right, if hearing none,
Sandy knows what she's
signify
doing.
by saying
I.
aye.
Aye.
5%.
Look at that.
Oh, my God, not here.
Shit.
I didn't get any.
When's the next